Powerful countries have a weapon that can take away the leader of any country. This weapon is called coup. Coup is a French word, which means to punch, cut, or forcefully take away something. This word is used in politics when a leader is forced to take away a leader and made a leader. When a coup happens in any country, there are many reasons and many players behind it. But in today's video, I am going to tell you that in the last 100 years, how America has reversed governments for its own sake through these coups in different countries. And today you will also find out that what we think is that there are many rules or laws at the international level in this world. There is no such thing. The one who has the power can do whatever he wants. In this video, I am going to tell you about the countries where America's direct involvement was proven. And a separate video can be made on every coup, but I will try to briefly tell you about every coup so that everything is covered in less time. First, let's go to year 1893. This is the year when America made a coup for the first time in any country. Queen of Hawaii, 3,500 miles away from America, is becoming a threat to the American sugar industry. In reality, American missionaries came to Hawaii many years ago from the Christian land and bought many acres of land and started sugar farming here. All of this sugar was exported to America from here, and locals were getting very little profit from it. Queen drafted a constitution to impose restrictions on sugar businessmen, and the big sugar mill owners in America stood up. And then, after a few days, America sent its many military ships here, and with the help of a few locals, they removed Queen and made one of their Christian missionaries the new president of Hawaii. In other countries, it was America's first attempt to overthrow the government, which was a complete success. They say that once a lion's mouth is bloodied, it destroys the village. This is what happened to America. Now let's go to year 1895. The Spanish Empire is collapsing. Revolutionary movements are taking place in all its large colonies, especially in Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. On the other hand, America is rising as a new superpower. And it does not like the colonies of the Spanish Empire that are so close to it. These are very strategic islands. America is always looking for an opportunity, and it gets it when a ship is destroyed near Puerto Rico and America accuses it of Spanish Empire. America now officially enters the war between Spanish Empire and its locales. It promises Puerto Rico, Cuba, Guam, and the locals of the Philippines that if they drive the Spanish Empire away from here, it will free all these four countries. With the support of America, locals force the Spanish Empire to leave, and America installs its puppet leaders in these four countries. So in just 8 years, America has already installed its favorite governments in all these countries. Now let's move on to year 1909. There is a country in Central America, Nicaragua, whose land is very fertile for growing coffee bean. And here, many American companies have invested. They are growing coffee beans from here and exporting the rest of the world. There are elections in Nicaragua and a new president comes. He tries to regulate these American companies somehow, because they are exploiting the natural resources of Nicaragua very quickly. America is obvious. It will not let this happen. America propagandizes against this president, that this president has started making a canal like the Panama Canal. This also makes the neighboring countries of Nicaragua against him. Although after 20 to 30 years, it was revealed that it was a false propaganda of America. Anyway, the revolution takes place in Nicaragua, and America sends its Navy ships here. With the help of America, the rebels are defeated and the president has to resign. And then America installs its favorite government here too. Only 2 years later, in 1911, America makes a coup in Honduras, the neighbor of Nicaragua. And this time too, the same story repeats. Honduras president is trying to regulate American countries. The thing that American companies are doing is banana. There was an American man behind all this banana industry. He was called Sam the Banana Man. This one man was so powerful that he brought his private army to save his business and attacked Honduras. And American government quietly watches all this. When this war reaches the peak, the American government puts pressure on the ceasefire and has to resign the president of Honduras. And Banana Man gets the president of Honduras to do whatever he wants. which not only gives land to Sam for banana farming, but also gives all his companies tax-free status. Only one American businessman had turned the entire government of a country upside down. Anyway, let's move fast forward to the 1950. America has become a superpower in the world. The CIA has completely revolutionized warfare. America's focus is not only on its neighbors, but the whole world. America's only rival at the moment is the Soviet Union, whose communist ideology America wants to stop spreading in every possible way. And for this, it is ready to go to any limit. And this is what brings us to Iran. It is 1953. Iran has had new elections which resulted in the formation of the Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. He wanted Iran to take back control of its oil reserves from the British. At that time, all of Iran's oil was under control of the British company, Anglo. Mossadegh wanted to nationalize all oil companies. Britain warns the Iranian Prime Minister that if he takes any step, it results in many consequences. The British government immediately meets with the CIA and decides to remove Mohammad Mossadegh. The CIA secretly sends its Middle East bureau chief Kermit Roosevelt to Iran. Kermit's only mission was to remove Mossadegh at any cost. Kermit shares his money with politicians and religious leaders and encourages them to make propaganda against Mossadegh in public. Fake attacks on religious leaders are carried out, and their accusations are put on Mossadegh. Violent protests start everywhere. The shops are set on fire. Police are raided. Police fire and kill hundreds of people. The situation in Tehran is out of control. And eventually, Mohammad Mossadegh has to resign. He is arrested and sent to a scripted trial, and the house is arrested for the rest of his life. In Iran, to fill the empty space of Mohammad Mossadegh, US and UK bring Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. He is known as the King of Iran. This was a huge victory for America. A powerful country like Iran had a pro-Western, pro-American dictator. Shah invited American companies to come to Iran and extract oil. But in Shah's era, Iran became a police state. Shah started to remove his various politicians, military officials, religious leaders, student leaders, and everyone from the way. This oppression grew so much that finally in 1989 Iran came out on the streets and Shah of Iran had to run away. This was a turning point for Iran and the Middle East because Ayatollah Khomeini replaced Shah, a religious leader who was going to change Iran culturally and politically, was his enemy. If we investigate the 1989 revolution in Iran, then the real reason for that was the American-backed coup in 1953, which led to Shah Reza's first power. Anyway, in 1954, the United States used the Iran Plan in Guatemala. It started targeting the democratically elected prime minister. The prime minister's crime was that he wanted to put restrictions on American companies in his country, which had put restrictions on all the electricity and rail network of Guatemala. It was also a crime to take back the land given to the banana companies and distribute it among the common people, so that they could farm it and feed their children. So like Honduras, the American banana industry was also in a very bad spot here. So obviously, how could America tolerate this president? American President and Secretary of State ordered the CIA to overthrow the government, and the CIA immediately started working on it. The CIA started supplying weapons to retired soldiers and some private people of Guatemala, and also built a radio station near Ethar, Florida, from where fake radio broadcasts started, which made it look like there was a revolution in Guatemala. And that's when the revolution started. This broadcast was in Spanish language. It felt like all this news was coming from a radio station in Guatemala. Meanwhile, these retired soldiers and private army started attacking the government. Everyone thought that a revolution had come. Only the president of Guatemala knew that the CIA is behind all this. The pressure increased so much that finally the president of Guatemala resigned and the CIA put its hand-picked new president there. After that, in Guatemala, political killings, assassinations, and instability started a period that is still ongoing. A country was destroyed by a few industrialists in America, and even after 70 years, Guatemala is still suffering from this one coup. Anyway, let's move on to Africa. The year is 1960. In the center of Africa, there is a country called Congo, which has just been freed from Belgium, and as a result of fresh elections, a man named Patrice Lumumba has become prime minister. America is very concerned about this development because the Cold War is at its peak right now, and Congo is a country rich in natural resources, especially from uranium, which makes nuclear bombs. How can an independent prime minister come to such a resource-rich country? America can never let this happen. The American government ordered the CIA to overthrow the Patrice government. And then the CIA uses its money, connections, and propaganda to achieve this. But in all this process, many are killed, and in the end, the prime minister is also killed. But the CIA's goal is once again fulfilled. Now the year is 1963. In Southeast Asia, Vietnam is the focus of two global superpowers. At that time, Vietnam was divided into two parts. The northern side was communist, and the southern side was pro-Western countries. The story of the Vietnam coup is very big, and we will discuss it in detail in a separate video. Briefly, America wanted to keep the southern side under its control in every situation. But at that time, the president's grip on the country was weakening. And then the American establishment decided that now there is a coup time here too. And this time, they chose a military general to coup. Unfortunately, the president was killed in this coup, although there were no such orders from the CIA. But then what happened after that was not what anyone had thought. Because of this one coup, America got stuck in a war for the next 10 years, in which it was badly defeated and embarrassed. This was the first coup that had bad effects were also put on America. We will soon make a video on the Vietnam War. In the same way, in 1964, America also made a coup in Brazil and the government of the country and appointed a president of their own will. Now we come back to Central America. The year is 1989 and the country is Panama. America has a lot of interest in this country because here is a very strategic point, the Panama Canal, from where 6% of the world's sea trade passes. Panama's dictator was very friendly with America until now. But now America's confidence is decreasing, and there is an incident in which Panama's soldiers accidentally kill American soldiers. America was looking for this opportunity. America attacked Panama with 27,000 soldiers, crushed its military, and arrested the dictator and sentenced him to 40 years in prison. America once again successfully overturned another government. Now we come to South Asia, year 1989 only. This is the fight between the Soviet Union and Afghanistan. The Soviet Union is supporting Afghan President Mohammad Najibullah, while America is supporting Afghan Mujahideen. America wants to remove the Soviet Union from here at any cost. And for this, the aid of billions of dollars is being given to the neighboring country Pakistan, who is supporting Afghan Mujahideen with this money. Afghan Mujahideen win this war and the Soviet Union leaves Afghanistan, but these Afghan Mujahideen are transformed into Taliban and Al-Qaeda. And then, only 12 years later, America fights against Taliban in 2001 and destroys Afghanistan. Now it's year 2003, and America's focus is here in Iraq. America wants to remove President Saddam Hussein in every situation. And what were the reasons behind it? From 1980 to 2003, in all the dynamics of the Middle East, America, Israel, China, and the Soviet Union, what was the role of? Anyway, America attacks Iraq in 2003 on the pretext of searching for chemical weapons, and in just a few weeks, the government of Saddam Hussein is overthrown and an American-friendly government is installed there. 3 years later, Saddam is hanged in 2006, and another coup of America is successfully complete. But after this coup, there are ISIS groups in Iraq who shake the entire Middle East. And to date, they are a headache for everyone. Now, let's go to the last coup of this video. Now it's the year 2011, and there are protests against dictators in the whole Arab world. These protests are called Arab Spring. The center point of this revolution is Libya, where the government of Muhammad Gaddafi has been ruling Libya for 32 years, and many people in Libya are fed up with his policies. Gaddafi is very much against America and NATO. This protest is giving America an opportunity to remove Colonel Gaddafi. Once again, America is trying to remove Gaddafi through its Kawa strategy and start a new government. This time, NATO is also directly involved in the coup. NATO's drones fire missiles at Gaddafi's convoy, which results in Gaddafi being caught and people killing him on the spot. But after this, until today, Libya is in a state of chaos and its conditions are unstable. Today's video was probably the most detailed video on this channel, but it was also an important video, because this shows how powerful countries and powerful people go to the limit for their own benefit. And if you have power, then laws will bend for you. How much we hate it, but international geopolitics is going on like this. Let us see who is America's next target, or perhaps America itself is going to become a victim of some division or internal civil war. 2025 is going to be a very transformative year for geopolitics.